Hey everybody, welcome back to the Nidus Anarchy series. I'm your host Adam, the CIO of Nidus, and today we're going to talk again why passwords still suck. So, ForgeRock just put out a report called the 2022 ForgeRock Consumer Identity Breach Report. Unauthorized access remains a top threat. The first question is, why is it a 2022 report and not a 2023 report? Especially when all the data points they reference are from 2020 and 2021. I don't know, but let's forget that part. Let's just assume they forgot they had this report and they just sent it out now. So here's the key data points I want to read off, which I think is very important for people to hear. 2 billion records containing usernames and passwords were compromised in 2021. That's a 35% increase over 2020. 2 billion records. That's 2 billion usernames and passwords. There's, 8 billion people in the world? Obviously, people have a ton of accounts, but still, 2 billion. And that's just what they know of, meaning that they've found them for sale or being distributed on the dark web, something along those lines. So those are only the ones that they know of. So obviously, there's way more. Just like anything else illegal going on, what you know about is just a tip of that iceberg. So we're talking way more than 2 billion passwords compromised in 2021. Unauthorized access was the top vector in 2021, accounting for 50% of all breaches. So, yeah, they're basically saying 50% of all attacks happened because of compromised passwords, people getting their stuff stolen, things along those lines. And then in the U.S. retail sector, the average cost of a single breach rose by nearly 2/3 to $3.27 million. So just in the United States retail sector, they spent $3.25 million to reset passwords, reset accounts, and have to deal with, ransom attacks, all the different costs that go to breach passwords. $3.25 million just in the U.S. retail sector. So we're talking a lot of money is being spent here because of passwords. Why? Because passwords are too easy to guess. They're brute forced. They're thrown through rainbow tables. They're just copied off dark web. People are taking pictures of the sticky notes when they write them down. So let's talk about what should your password be. Because first off, I don't think you should have a password. You should be using some form of a passwordless solution. But obviously, if you're the end user, you don't have that option. Most of the time, you have to do whatever the company tells you. So if your company is forcing you to use passwords, let's do this. 1, don't make your password the same for everything. So if one account were to be breached, all your others are still safe. Use a password manager if you have to remember, if you have a ton of different passwords, use a password manager of some kind and lock that password down with the craziest passphrase that you can remember, something very long. This is something a lot of people are, I think, overlooked in the last couple of years, is that the NIST standard for passwords has changed completely. It used to be you want something very complex with uppercase, lowercase, numbers, special characters, whatever. That's not the case anymore. NIST has thrown that out the window. Now, what the NIST is saying is that the longer, the better. So even if it's just words, that's why we like to say passphrase. So the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy brown dog, that is a great password. Well, actually, it's horrible because everyone knows that passphrase, but you want your own unique passphrase of some kind. Something long. Longer is better. Think of it, I don't know how else to put this in I think everyone already knows what I think. Longer is better. I think everyone can remember that, okay? Longer is better. Short is bad. Long good, short bad. Okay? There you go. So make a password that is long, make everything different across every different system, and use a password manager if you have to. But ideally, get off passwords. Use a passwordless solution. You have MFA where you can scan the QR code and you get a text message to sign in. You can use an authenticator app like Google Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticator, whatever. Use any of those apps to do your authentication. You could do something where, like, hey, you put in your email address, a magic link is emailed to you. You click on that link, that propagates the login. There are so many great ways, and even with Web3 wallets now, you can use your Web3 wallet like MetaMask using product like Tier to log in using your Web3 wallet. So using public and private keys, which are impossible to brute force. So there's tons of ways out there. Stop using really crappy passwords. Use passwordless if you can. Please tell everyone that's in charge of your infrastructure to get away from passwords as quick as possible. If you need help, hit me up. I'll help convince whoever needs convincing that passwords are horrible. You can email me, adam@nidus.com. You can hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all those fun things. We're at Nidus IAM, NYEDISIAM. And you can hit us up on our new website, nidus.com, if you want to check us out there. In the meantime, I'd love to hear what you guys use on how you keep your passwords safe and from being prevented from leaking on the dark web so you don't become part of this 2 billion passwords that are compromised. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. I'll talk to you guys around later.